Hello, students. So today we're going to take a minute and talk through the checklist that you've just received. So first thing I want to do is draw your attention to the point values. You'll notice that there are some point values that are for large portions of the project, but they're only counted as 5 points. Well, the reason that these major parts of the project only count as 5 points is because they have already counted as a large portion of the grade. So you'll notice that activity 1 only counts as 5 points because I'm just counting that you've printed it off and you've actually turned it in, okay? You've previously already gotten the credit for doing it correctly, and that counted as half a test grade. So that was for activity 1, activity 2, and activity 3 because they've all been previously graded. Now let's move on to the big point values. The first thing that is a big point value is the budget. You'll notice that it requires that a full budget be completed using the EveryDollar app. It has to balance, and all the required items must be there. You must have all the required items. Notice that it's worth 15 points, but there's this big word in caps letters, required. What do I mean by required? I mean that you must turn in a budget. If you turn in this project but there's no budget, then it will not be accepted. Okay? The budget has to be present in order for me to accept it and to grade it. So that is a required piece. The 15 points is for how well it's done. So for instance, if you turn in a budget but maybe you're missing a couple of things, then you could lose some of that 15 points there. Notice that there are 10 points for some discussion of personal spending habits. Notice that you can do this 2 ways. You can either write a paragraph about your personal spending habits. That's what the example on Canvas shows, is a paragraph. Or you could annotate. In other words, you could print off the budget and you could actually handwrite on the budget some annotations about the categories that you have. I've had several students who just feel like that's easier to do than to write a paragraph about spending. Like it's easier for them to just talk about the different categories on the budget itself. So either way works for me, but you have to have the full budget sheet and you have to talk about personal spending somehow. Next, notice that there is something that's worth 35 points. What's that? Well, that is a reflection. That's activity 5. I know it says activity 6 here, but that's a typo. It is activity 5, and it's worth, you should have 3 paragraphs according to the rubric. This is all posted online on Canvas. If you click on activity 4 and 5, the instructions are there. Notice also that you have to have at least 5 sources connected via hyperlink, and that is a requirement. Then notice down here what we have. We have something called distinguishing characteristics. So what is this talking about? Well, this is like professionality, how well you've done. So for instance, you get 5 points for having the paper typed and formatted according to the rubric. So in other words, it's organized, maybe it has clear flow, those kinds of things, you get 5 points. Professionality, like grammatical or spelling errors, you get 5 points for doing that. Exceptional. Project is exceptional. Additional pictures, detailed and thorough, an additional 5 points for that. The reflection showing a learning stretch, that means that you're able to talk in the reflection a little bit about something that you've thought about that maybe was new to you. And then corrections are made from the first draft if needed. So in other words, if you don't do corrections, if I've told you to do something and you don't do those corrections, you will lose those 5 points. And then you'll notice here that there's an extra credit potential, and that's if you turn it in by Thursday at midnight. Now, you'll also notice down here submission information. This project may be turned in hard copy or online. If it's turned in online, the project must be in one document. The link to turn in the project is on the Canvas homepage. So if you go to the Canvas homepage and you scroll down, you'll see right here, turn in the whole assignment here. So if you're ready to turn the whole thing in, turn it in there. You could turn in activity 3 for its individual grade right here. Also, another way of doing this is just to simply print the project. So that could be another way of doing it. All right, so I just wanted to go over that checklist with you. If you have any questions, please email me. I will be on my computer all day today.